Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to another day of turning challenges into victories. Today is day number 15 of 75 Hard, and today's topic are non-negotiables, why I stopped negotiating with myself. And as a little recap of today and what Mondays typically look like for me, my Mondays, I typically have meetings all morning long and into the early afternoon. I also had to run some errands for work, and then I also spent some time with my family. We went for a walk with our kiddos, and in the evening I just had some leftover work because typically things just kind of get pushed back on Mondays due to the meetings, and so it just felt like a non-stop pace with the scheduling on Mondays. Again, my day just kind of gets crowded. It's easy for me to skip meals because I'm in meetings all day. Easy for me to forget to drink water, or I have little small tasks that pop up here and there that end up just kind of getting pushed back towards the end of the day. At the end of the day, I just have to decide what is going to be the most beneficial for me. So for example, one of the things that came up today was going to the gym with my wife and our kids, or just staying home, doing a workout at home and not spending 45 minutes on the road to and from the gym. And so it ends up becoming more about optimizing my time and not leading with emotion. So choosing efficiency over habit comfort. And before we dive deeper, my workouts today consisted of just walks. So I did a walk with my family, which I actually didn't count that just because our little kids are on their little bikes and it's a constant stop and go. I'm really not focusing on anything other than them. So I went back out later in the evening and walked my dog. So we did a 45-minute walk outdoors. Super windy right now. We actually have a wind advisory going into effect tomorrow, cutting out our power throughout the day. So we'll see how that goes. It should be fun. And for my indoor workout, I just did the incline treadmill. For my reading, I am reading The Magic of Thinking Big, which if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. Lots of great feedback, especially if you are in the process of maybe starting your own company or thinking about starting your own company. It's really good. It's a great motivator. It talks a lot about how the bottom is crowded and how the top is a little bit less crowded, so we should be focusing on the top. But we'll talk about that in a later video. In terms of my water intake, I did drink my 1 gallon of water. Diet, I did stick to my diet. I had my morning almond butter shake, and then for my one meal of the day, my wife made delicious coconut rice, some veggies, and some chicken breast. So stuck to my diet. Progress photos, I always take those after the video recording, so that'll get done. Overall energy, pretty good. Usually once I have my almond butter shake, I'm pretty much good to go. I do end up putting coffee into it, so that helps a lot. And on to today's topic. What I would love to talk about are non-negotiables, and how when you create non-negotiables, you start to remove negotiation entirely, and those non-negotiables end up protecting your momentum. A lot of times we try to focus on our motivation in order to create momentum, and motivation is great to get you started, but it is not great to keep you going. Once the going gets tough or you get some sort of discouragement, then you stop doing those things and you go back to being your old self. When you fuel what drives performance, you remove any negotiation, then in the mundane task, you end up creating that momentum. And I use, for example, my eating. So when I eat clean, my energy, my focus, my sleep, and my productivity all improve. And that's something that I just can't negotiate with. When I do start negotiating with it, I start feeling sluggish, which then ends up removing some of my motivation to continue to do great things. And so I start losing that momentum, and then I feel like a failure, like I can't do all of the things that I want to do, And it all just comes down to one small decision. So again, removing those negotiations entirely is really what's going to help protect your motivation and keep moving you forward. One of the things that I did before starting 75 Hard was read Andy Frisella's book, the book on mental toughness. And what I did, I started applying those things into my routine for the day. And with that, it turns into you decide once and you execute daily. So you set the standards ahead of time so that when the day comes, you can't really argue with yourself. Your standard is, I'm gonna drink a gallon of water every single day, and you're gonna make that happen. And then furthermore, you're just gonna schedule it. So I schedule 2 for the morning, 2 for the afternoon, and I'm able to divide and conquer that way. And then as you continue to execute on a daily basis, you start forming this new identity. So as you focus on who it is that you want to become and what it is that you want to do, those small decisions, so you look at it backwards. You start with the end picture in mind, and then you build your day and your routine based off of that larger picture. And then as the days come and go, you end up becoming a person who is able to follow through. You've honored the commitments even when the schedule is stacked against you. And lastly, once you start negotiating with yourself, that's where discipline goes to die. You really want to focus on those small tasks that are going to build that new identity that people are going to get to know and respect and move forward in life with, and want to include you in everything that they do, because not only are you working to make yourself a better person, but you end up encouraging others to do the same. So I'll leave you with this. Stop negotiating with yourself. Start honoring your standards. Consistency is the superpower. And as always, if today's message hit home, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, or share it with someone who needs that extra push today. It helps my mission, and it helps more people start turning their own challenges into their own victories. And remember, envision, strategize, and then execute. Thanks for watching.